And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. So, guys, the purpose of this video is if you been following the channel for a while now, about a month ago we did a circuit board repair class, and we were having some audio issues, some technical difficulty issues. So we've been working out the kinks and working out some of the stuff. So we wanted to share with you our Saturday's class, a TMM academic class. Again, these are the type of classes that we do every other Saturday. We're going to share this week's class with you. We hope you enjoy it. More importantly, we hope that the quality, we hope that the audio, we hope that you see improvement. We're not at 100%, but we're getting there. We're working out the kinks. So we just wanted to share this video with it. We wanted to share this video with you. We hope that you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. Love,
go down here and do a demonstration. Again, pardon all of this wiring like this. This is a three-way. But again, if you notice the red here, that's for your fresh food, capillary, fresh food evaporator. And then we said that the blue represented your freezer, capillary, which is for your freezer evaporator. All right. And we also spoke about the three-way valve. We spoke about how to put it in the home position. So again, if you didn't see that, please check out last week's episode that we did. Can you put the camera on me?
We have to make it public. It's not
public yet?
They haven't been able to see it yet because we
Okay.
didn't upload it. We didn't open it to the channel.
Okay, guys.
We'll do it today. Admit somebody.
Okay, so today's class, again, I would like to welcome everybody who's just joining us. Today's class is going to be a continuation of the internal copper tubing of the seal system that we can't access. We can't access it. So again, we're going to be talking about how to check it for leaks and how to clear any restrictions. And we'll finish off with the Yoder loop. Okay, we'll finish off with the Yoder. It's very important. The Yoder loop is another internal part of the seal system that is not accessible physical, nor can you see it. So that's what today's class is going to be. But before we begin that, does anybody have any questions about anything that I've said so far? Anything about like capillaries, three-way valve, in case you weren't in last week's class? All right, let's get to the So again, they see this. They can see the screen though.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
they have an overlapping monitor, they can see
Okay,
your teacher.
okay, they can see both. Okay. So guys, again, can everybody see my screen and what we're looking at? Guys?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, we spoke about this three-way valve, right?
I can't see your finger though.
We spoke about this three-way valve being down here, and we spoke about it going up to the two evaporators. We spoke about it going to.
How to use the mouse? They can't see your finger.
They can't see my finger? Okay. We spoke about the fresh food compartment, okay? Again, here's that capillary represented by those black dots. They go internal. You can't see it. You can't test it. They go internal. So again, we're going to be talking about that, how to clear it, how to check it for leaks, okay? How to clear it and how to check it for leaks. And then finally, our last segment of class is going to be the actual Yoder loop. Bear with me. Right there. Yoder loop. Okay. Again, we said that the condenser coil, the final loop, okay, this is the exit. The exit is now become our Yoder loop, which is internal in the refrigerator and then comes out to our filter dryer. Okay, there's an access valve here because we're gonna do a test, you know, and this was a picture. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that. I think what Laurent was making mention of, sometimes this condensate pan here will fill with, sometimes this condensate pan will fill here with water. And what will happen is you'll actually hear the leak. You'll hear it. It'll be bubbling down here. All right. So let's get into today's class and let's talk about that. All right. Let's switch back to this. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Oh, okay. So now we're on a job. We got a leak. Okay. And we want to find this leak. You know, we don't want to give the job up. We want to find the leak. So we showed you how to test the evaporator for leaks. We didn't really do it for the condenser yet, but again, we're doing capillaries today. So let's talk about that. Let me get a pair of capillary tube cutters. I'm going to do the freezer compartment today, and we're going to do a leak detection test. Thank you. So very simple. Can they see this, Richard? How's it look on the screen? All right. So what you want to do is cut here. All right. Tuck all this in.
Now, obviously, guys, the refrigerant has been recovered from the unit. You wouldn't do this to a fully charged unit.
Yeah. And if it has a leak, you don't got to worry about it because there ain't nothing in it. All right. So there you go. All right. Now we're going to hook up a little access valve there. Again, there's some prep work that's involved here. You always want to sand your stuff down. Richard, you care to add anything about anything?
Well, guys, we're cleaning it because if there's any dirt or oil on there, when he brazes it, the solder won't stick. After you sand it, always remember, don't blow on it. Don't take your fingers and rub on it, because if you put your fingers on it, you might leave oil from your fingers. Any little bit of oil on there is going to cause a poor solder joint. So you have to limit the amount of oil, dirt, debris, or anything on it before you braze.
Do you care to talk about? Okay, guys, you always want to remove the core when you're doing this. Oh, let me try to see if I can.
If you braze with that core in there, you'll melt the plastic and rubber in there.
There's a little plastic clear. Let me show you. Hold on. There's a little white band here. There's also, oh yeah, right here. This little white one. If it gets too hot, you may melt that and you may have Freon seep through. All right. So you always want to remove this anytime you're working with your access valves. Another thing, once you put it on, you want to put it on not too far in and not too, you know, don't give yourself enough room. Probably about what, an inch, Richard?
Yeah, it's pretty about 5. You don't want to go so far where you hit the capillary tube in the back of the valve too. You can create a restriction.
And then what I'm doing here is I'm just pinching off the excess copper here so that my solder doesn't backflow into my capillary. All right. So look how much I got in there. That's good to go. Oh, let me give myself a good angle to solder. Bear with me, guys. Hold on. All right. Yeah. Beautiful. You're the man, Richard. You're the man. That's good. She ain't going nowhere. Right there. This. Again, guys, in the field, you got to get a little creative, you know? But there we go. That's beautiful right there. Let's make sure we got this guy in to about here. All right, good to go. Now let's set up our, again, to each his own. You know, I know some guys like the turbo. I know some guys like this and that. You know, I'm old school. I like oxyacetylene. Use these babies like a surgeon.
Solder.
Yeah. When you do this, you want to do it on your valve side, not on the capillary. Get it nice and red. You don't need a lot. Oh, I burnt too much. Too hot. I went too hot, guys. Sorry. I may have fucked it up. I'm sorry for cursing. Let me do this over, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna cut that. Press pause. Look, that's a little example. If you get too hot, you'll actually burn your copper like I did there. Can they see that? Can they see that? All right. So when that happens, basically just cut and do it over. And that's why I said it's always good when you put in your flame, do it on this side, stuff you could get rid of, not on the actual stuff that you can't, you can't patch that up so quickly. Let me just cut this tubing, put this back on. It's just hot as hell, guys, so give me a second. I got another. Yes, we do. I got one. All right, we're good, Rich. This one's cordless. It's just that joint there is hot as heck right now.
That's good. It'll break right up.
This one actually is a little smaller in diameter, which is perfect. Okay, I'm gonna use a little less heat.
If it's not lighting, you need more gas. If it's popping, you got too much oxygen. Still gonna hot.
So I'm gonna use mine to slide it on.
Well, you've got solder on the capillary tube. He's gonna heat it up so you can slide it further down.
So she's on there good. All right. So now We give that some time. So now what we can do is I'm going to slide the unit forward and show you the inside evaporator. Which one is this? The blue one, right? Guys, bear with us. We're going to go to the front of the fridge now. Okay, so one thing important I want to talk to you about here is this electrical connector. Notice I was able to do all that heating. The shadow, no, I want them to see it.
I know, that's what I said.
Okay, I want them to see like what a good job looks like. Look, you see, you want to make sure that you don't destroy your connections. They plug in. You don't see any charring on the roof or back here. So again, it all is about that prep work. Get you a little heat shield like this, angle it, position your fire at a safe distance. But if you do everything right, now we can test this capillary. So let's go ahead and put an access valve on there as well. We'll do a leak test. We'll make sure that it doesn't have any leaks, and we'll flush it, and then we'll move into the Yoder, do the same there, and then class is done. But that's a good way to check for internal leaks and stuff. So let's put a little valve here, Rick. We need another valve here. All right, let me get a quarter valve. I have one here somewhere. Oh, there you go. Yeah, beautiful. You want to talk about cutting? Go ahead. Okay. All right. So again, guys, let's do a little prep work here. Take this opportunity to sand that capillary. Bear with me as I find my sandpaper. Thank you, sir. Another great tool. Thank you, sir. Here's what we're gonna do. Put this guy on here like so. All right. But another great tool, and Richard was the one who actually showed me this. I didn't know about this, so I want to show you. It's this thing called liquid gel. All right. That wasn't a good infomercial, right?
No.
That infomercial sucked.
Well,
but it works though. I stand behind it.
We'll clean it off later and then show you a picture. We'll put it at the end of the video. So you can see after we cleaned it. Shooting live, sometimes things aren't that easy. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, customers wouldn't like that, even though it's not actually, defaced, or I meant to say, warped. They wouldn't like that.
Richard, can you let me in? I'm waiting on my computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I'm so far away from the computer.
Where's that?
This is photo. Yes, thank you.
That's Fortunate.
Hey, Fortunas.
Yeah, I was wondering where's Fortuna. He's always in class. All right. So now we put that guy on. This is gonna be a tight one, Richard. But I'm the man with the plan, right, Richard?
I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer in there while he's doing it, guys, without creating a shadow. Let me see. Brandon, don't start yet.
All right, but guys, now, let's talk a little bit. Can I get the whiteboard? You may want to hold it down so it's not shaking. I mean, stand it up or something. Okay, guys, let's take a moment and talk about what we did and what's going on. Okay, the importance of what we did was, again, we only have, I want participation. Can somebody just start naming seal system components? We said condenser, that's external. Evaporator, and this is dual. So when it's dual, how many evaporators does it have?
It has 2.
So that's condenser, evaporator 1, evaporator 2. What else is another component, seal system in this unit?
Compressor.
The compressor? There could be leaks at the compressor joints. It's worth checking. What else?
Your
That's
3-way
5.
valve. Your 3-way valve.
Three-way valve. And I think we got everything, right? We said condenser. Oh, Yoder, right?
Yoder.
We said the
Yeah,
Yoder. And then guys, the suction line, the returning internal suction line that we can't see. But aside from that, that's it, guys. There's nothing else to the seal system. So what today's tool is going to give you is how to isolate literally everything. We can isolate our evaporator. Here's the prop. Here's the prop. We can isolate this evaporator, but this is external. The test that we're gonna do today is an internal test. This is external. This is an external component. We're gonna check the portions that our eyes and hands can't do. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pull that in a vacuum. Or we showed you how to, in the last class, we showed you how to flush it out. But if you wanna do a flush and then
Do a
vacuum?
flush.
Then do a vacuum?
I thought you were just gonna pressurize it, see if it drops.
Yeah, let's pressurize it to make sure our joints is good too. You know, I did all that
Yeah.
soldering. Now, I may not have done a good job. So let's pressure test it to make sure that our solders are good. Because if our solders aren't good, we aren't going to achieve the results we want from a vacuum.
We could also see if the gauge is dropping pressure to tell us that it's leaking.
Let's do that now. Any questions up to this point and the importance of having this and what we're doing? Let's go.
Can you repeat that question?
Repeat the question here. Take the camera. I'm gonna grab some.
They'll answer. Okay, the question, guys, was, is there any question? That was the question.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. So we're gonna set up now. We're gonna pressurize this capillary. Let's get the camera set up. Bear with me. Can they see that? All right, beautiful.
Yeah, I'll move it closer. Here.
All right, let me get this set up now. Huh? Thank you, sir. Now, guys, remember when I said that keep your valves nearby? Now we're gonna put them back in. Well, we can pressurize them without the valves, but let's put them in.
We got to at least cap one end. We either got to put the core inside one end, or we have to put the cap on one end if we're going to pressurize it. So remember, you take the cores out to braze it,
Oh, God.
but then you want to make sure that when you're pressurizing it, you got something that holds the pressure back in the system.
Jesus. Now the
Cap it.
it went in the
Drain.
yeah, evaporator.
Oh, you know that evaporator didn't leak it. Pressure on it.
Yep. Yeah, I gave this class on YouTube, remember?
Yeah. It was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
you also have to let that cool off before you put that in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those, Brandon showed you the nylon seal, but there's another rubber seal
Look at
inside.
this one. This one is blue.
You see the blue nylon seal, but you see that little black gasket? If you press down on the valve, you can actually see how the valve opens and closes. I don't think it should. You gotta get the camera. Hold on, you're under the camera.
Right there.
You see how it opens and closes there? There's a rubber seal at the end of that too that can melt. So the blue seal would leak from the valve,
The black one, can they see it?
or the black one or the blue one.
Oh, okay. Can they see, Richard?
There you
Yeah,
go.
I can see it. Yeah, I see it.
There's a blue seal, but when he goes, watch as he presses it up and down, there's a black seal inside there.
It's very hard to do it, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to hold it and open and close the valve, so. Go slowly. There you go. You see it opening and closing? Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put that inside the valve now to pressurize it. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Huh?
Show them that tool.
This?
Yeah.
It's just, guys, a simple little core tool removal.
So it gives you a little bit more of an extension than using the cap of the valve.
Yeah. And if you like in a tight band, you could put an adjustable here. It just gives me a little leverage. All right, so that takes care of that. Hand tight, guys. Not Hercules, hand tight. Nice and easy. All right, so she's good, Richard.
So we gotta pull it out, pressurize it in the back.
Yep.
All right, we gotta move studio again for a second, guys. Next time we'll get one of those dollies, put the refrigerator on a wheel dolly so we can just spin it around and everything.
Or the camera too.
But I got that in order.
Yep.
But the wheel dolly could just spin the refrigerator. It's easy.
Ooh, I know what you mean. That's cool.
Okay, guys, 1 second.
All right. Here's our setup here. Again, who's paying attention? What color we said for freezer?
Blue.
Come on.
Blue.
There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and put some nitrogen on here. You want 120 PSI?
And we don't have to put a core in this end. Only if we wanted to take the gauges off and see if it held pressure and come back another day. But there's no need to have a core.
So what's the estimated price of the oxygen tank there with the gauges and all on that?
Yeah, I didn't hear everything. What's an estimated price of what?
Yeah, nitrogen tank there.
Usually a tank is a one-time deposit. It depends on your area, between like 60 and 100 bucks. You have to purchase the regulator. It doesn't come with the tank. And then you have to usually pay for one refill, which refills are inexpensive, 5-10 bucks. So from then on, you get refills. And when you buy torches and you buy tanks like that, and you go to the store and you get this beautiful, freshly painted oxygen acetylene tank, realize that they don't come pre-charged with gas. So if you buy them from the same place, or you go to take the tank someplace to fill, most of these places do not fill the tank right then and there. So what happens is they give you another set of tanks and they take your freshly painted tank. And a lot of people get upset. Oh, hey, listen, over a period of time, those tanks are going to get looking like that anyways. That's the way the business is. They take and they refill the tanks, and they never give you a full tank, brand new, freshly painted. You don't get to keep the tanks unless you go to some gas facility that will refill it for you right there. Otherwise, you go to Johnstone Refrigeration Center or any of your refrigeration supply houses, they're not going to fill your tank up for you.
I've let all that in the system. The system is super packed.
All right, let's go. Can't see the gauges. What are we doing?
I'm at like 89 on them.
Go ahead and raise it up about 100, 110.
120.
Yeah, now,
That's it though. All
What-
that's in there.
yeah, when you look, the capillary tube doesn't take much to fill, but listen, when you're putting pressure on a system, when it's a completely enclosed system, evaporator, condenser, compressor, everything's sealed up. You just have a valve right here on the compressor here. If you're just gonna put pressure in there to see if the system leaks after you repaired it, don't go more than 100 PSI. But since we're just doing the capillary tube, it's just pure copper, it can handle a little bit higher pressures. So what we want to do is we want to take note of the gauge pressure on there, I think is, and hold it up so I can see it. Come closer to the camera a little bit. Yeah, right there, 118.7. So if he shuts a tank off like that, if the capillary tube now had a leak,
That number will go down.
we'd see the decimal point start dropping, 118.7, like a 118.6 and so forth. So by doing this, and we could do this to any component in the system we just discussed, by doing that, we can see if any component in the system has a leak. So I understand the procedures are the same, just like we did the last class, but you got to remember, each component starts at one place and ends someplace else. So that's why we're trying to break it down as simple as possible, one component at a time. So this is leak testing. The other test that we would want to make sure is that we have no restriction. So how would we do that, Brandon? How would we make sure it's not restricted?
Well, this is a very relatively easy test that we would do. And the reason is because we already have 118 PSI inside of this capillary tube. So it would be just a matter of going to the front of the unit and removing that core or that cap that's on there and making sure that we have good flow and good stream coming out on the other side. So let's demonstrate it.
All right.
This one, we won't have to do too much. We just got to pull it forward and you don't have to move. You don't have to move.
Well, we hook up the nitrogen tank so that they can continue to flow through.
Yeah. Let's remove the core so they can hear the initial and then we'll do one final. Okay, so guys, if we remove, get on that side? Okay,
Yes. So
sure.
the camera and the lights on that side.
No
So I
problem.
want you to be in the camera light.
So guys, if we remove this core here, can they see, Richard, can they see on the TV?
I think that your hand's in the way, but okay.
Guys, y'all know that there's a core in here, right? Y'all see the core?
Yes.
Once we remove that, if we get nitrogen coming out nice and strong, we've removed the restriction. If we hear it sputtering or coming out like, and you seeing like oil and soot, what you're doing is removing the restriction or you know, whatever debris in there. So let's go ahead and remove the core and see what happens. Y'all probably didn't hear that on the camera, but I did hear the psst. So what I'm gonna do now is turn on the nitrogen tank. Just turn the gauge. Oh no, we gotta hook it up, sorry.
Hit me up with the camera, just want to connect.
Yeah,
Sure.
I heard that little hissing noise.
Okay, so we're gonna reconnect the nitrogen. I'm gonna leave the pressure the same way that we had it set. And we disconnected the tank just to show you that, you know, the pressure, if it's dropping or not. So now we're just gonna open up this tank. And I'm gonna open up the gauges.
And now listen, guys, you can actually hear it. Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Richard, can they see it on the TV?
Yes.
Okay, so now, guys. All right, let me give a speech now. This is the segment where we take a pause and we analyze what we did. 5 more minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to give a closing speech.
Sure.
Sorry for my handwriting, guys. Am I missing anything, Richard?
No, you got everything.
Okay. Guys, why did I show y'all today's class? What's the significance of it? What is it important? Guys, I like when I put on my tool belt, I like to have all the tools at my disposal. I like to be like Batman. I can use any trick out of my trade. This is a trick, guys. The fact that we can test internally, I showed you how we can isolate these capillaries. We can literally, with certainty, determine that these two, at a minimum, I showed you those. We can check them for leaks. 4-2, mute yourself, 4-2.
Okay.
Sorry, brother. Thanks, man. Okay, so guys, think about it. Now, in theory, the same principles for the cap also apply for the yoder and for the suction. As long as you have 1 point coming in, you're gonna have 1 point coming out. Now that you can see what's in here is irrelevant. Once you hook up that access valve here, and you do vacuum, pressure, or leak, right? Vacuum pressure, what's another one?
Flow through like.
Or sweep. Man, we can get into these inner copper tubings. It allows us access to our complete seal system. This is vital. This is very important, guys. This is a very important tool to add to your arsenal. There's no component that we can't access. Now, Richard has some on another channel where he actually shows you, I haven't done this yet in the field, but it's video where he shows you how to run your suction exterior down the wall. Maybe in a future video we show you that, and I show you how I run capillaries. Like say my capillaries get restricted internally, complete restriction. I'm putting 120 PSI and I can't get it out. You may have to run it down the drain. LG sells a kit for that with the insulation and everything. You run it down the drain. Maybe we show y'all how to do that in a future video. And then, as we said, the yoder, we could bypass it. If we got a leak in that, or if we got any situation, we can bypass that yoder. So with today's class, in theory, there's no part of the seal system that we can't access. And that was today's purpose of the class. Any questions? Sayonara. We're all set. Richard, anything to add?
I do have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Guy with a question.
All right. So when you guys go to, diagnose, you diagnose a unit, a refrigerator with a refrigeration issue. You're like, okay, where do you start? I don't know if you guys have answered this in the past or not, but where do you start? Looking and doing.
Wonderful. You want to take?
I want to add,
Sure.
then you can take it over.
Sure.
Since you are a member, have you perused any of the member section videos that we have up online?
I have. I haven't gone through all of them.
Okay.
I've been super busy, but yeah, I'm starting to go through them.
What we need to do is we have a sealed system section, and there's one where I talk about looking at the evaporators and the frost patterns on the evaporators to let you know whether you have a cooling problem or not. And there is one video that we recently did that said, you even put a comment on there, this is for you, Ozzy, that one there was like, we did a video on how do you approach a refrigerator and how do you know whether it's a defrost or what other problem before you open it up for sealed system. But go ahead and tell them what you look for.
Okay, so thank you for the question. Look, the very first thing, I always like to do, I like to look at the display. What did we set it at? 0, 37. I don't use my hands. I use devices such as a thermometer, infrared gun, thermocouple, K-type thermocouple. Like I use equipment to get my temperatures. Then once I get my temperatures, I realize, okay, whether I'm matching that 0 and 37, the thing. Why don't you just leave it down? Put it down and leave it. All right. Oh, the microphone.
I'm trying to put.
Hold on, y'all. Let's get the camera set.
There you go. You're set.
Beautiful. All right. So once you get your temperatures, right? All right. I'm out of that temperature range that I want. Okay. I'm gonna do it now. I'm not gonna jump right into the seal system. I'm gonna do some more investigation. I'm gonna look at my doors, my gaskets, make sure my refrigerator is closed. Ask the customer how long has it been running. You may arrive to a job that it's been plugged in 3 hours. No wonder it's not cooling. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. I'm gonna look for the obvious, and then I'm gonna dive more deeper. I'm gonna open up my doors, especially freezer. Listen for my evap fan. Make sure that that's running. I'm gonna take this opportunity to look at my evaporator wall. Do I see it all frozen up? Do I look like I got a defrost problem? So right there, I did 2 important tests. Then I'll go to the rear. If all that check out, I'll go to the rear. I'll put my hand on my compressor. Is it running? Maybe my compressor's off. I may have an overload issue. I may have a relay issue. I'm gonna look at my condenser fan. Is my condenser fan running? So once all my major components are more or less operational, I'll take the opportunity to go to the evaporator, remove the cover, and look at that frost pattern. And that'll tell me a lot. Am I gonna have a full frost pattern, no frost pattern, or half frost pattern? Then, after I've exhausted all opportunity, I will then use the seal system as my last, resource, my last, what's that word I'm looking for?
Your last resort.
My last resort. That's my answer to that, whoever asked that question. Anything else?
Yes, Brother B, I have a question. Yeah, something different from today's class. I need help.
Wait, before you ask me that question, remember that we're recording, okay? So anything you ask is any other people will hear it. But if you feel comfortable, please continue.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so Electrolux, I don't know if you can see me, they came up with this control board replacement with the extension like harness. Team, I've been having problem. This new board replacement, it doesn't work. I tried 2 of them. No, I've been online trying to read everybody's comment. They say you have to replace the user interface where the water dispenser ice machine is for their side-by-side refrigerator. everybody has a story. Is there anybody who has been through this problem? This is the part number, if you can see it.
Hold on,
Sorry.
Let me look at your screen. Bear with me. Hold on, Fortunas. Let me pull you up on screen. Sure. Okay, so he can share now. He can share his screen if he wants to. And Fortunas, let's make him the spotlight. All right, Fortunas, the floor is yours, man. Everybody can see your screen now. And how is he? Okay, make him host. No, not host. Well, host.
Okay, can you hear me?
Fortunas, I'm
Yes.
trying to bring your screen up.
Where do you see the multiple people talking?
There we go. I found it. Okay, there we go. And now we'll make him full screen. Okay, I can see you now, Fortunas.
Good,
He
good.
is. He is. Oh.
Okay, you're trying to show us, what are you showing us, Fortunas? That's the main control board.
Yeah, that's the main control board for Electrolux, which always they put it under the refrigerator. When you open the sidekick, the door, what we call the door kick. Yes, so they put it under there. So they brought up a replacement for their side-by-side. That side-by-side, the new replacement board, it doesn't work at all. The refrigerator goes quiet sleep. I have to
I think we
replace.
gotta change the UI too, though.
They updated the both boards, and that's why when you change one, you have to change them both.
Oh,
Because when they updated the main board,
yes.
the UI doesn't communicate with it properly.
Thank you so much, sir. And they don't say anything. Most of our technicians that in my area, we cry, we send everything back to the shop. So we are supposed to replace both of them, the user interface and this one.
It's usually on certain models, but if you're not a factory authorized company,
Yes,
it's hard for you to get that kind of information.
thank you so much, sir.
Fortuna, send me the email and I will check Electrolux's website and see if there's a service flash.
Yes,
I'll send it to you, but I'll also make it available to everybody, okay?
absolutely. Very important information, sir.
Okay, just send me the model number and I'll look it up.
I will right away. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? I'd like to thank Victor, Patrick, Dale, DW, and who else is here?
Fortuna.
Trinity. He's going, Trinity's going. All right, guys, thank y'all for coming. Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Enjoy y'all Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, somebody put a chat. Let's see. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. All right, we'll all right, brother, we are stop video. Did you play that back for a second? Yeah, I'm gonna answer it now. Let me just set up here.
Working on LGs, they're a whole lot easier to get into as far as working on the evaporator, the fan, and all the other stuff that goes along with the cooling system. Yeah, you see how it pops right out? It comes right out. You don't have no screws. If it does, it may not have but one or two screws.
Yeah, I think I worked on this model myself, but I think it's probably one of the easiest bottom mount units to get into.
I just make it look that way, Richard.
Professional guys.
That's all it is, Richard. I'll make it look that way.
We want to bring you guys up to our level.
Stop it. Don't say that.
I'm kidding.
All right, guys. So here we are. Here's our capillary that feeds our evaporator.
Hold on, let me get a little light.
We're gonna get some more light, bear with us. Take this black permagum off. Okay. Now we remove the permagum. Now let's inspect at what we're looking at here. Okay, so again, today's class, we're talking about internal. That's that capillary that feeds this evaporator. That capillary that we put that valve on, this is where it goes. This is the destination. And if you look here, they even mark this evaporator blue in correlation with the capillary band that was also marked blue. Okay? You may see that, you may not. This is one of the first ones that I've seen that they starting to mark them. So that may be something new they doing. All right, a couple things to consider that we spoke about in the last class, prep work back here. You want to be careful with your electric connections. I want to go ahead and disconnect them. Get them out the way. Make your job easy for yourself. Pull it out a little. And we're gonna put a little heat shield back here to prevent ourselves from doing any damage to the lining and to the electrical connectors. Let me get my equipment.
So again, he wants to test to see if that capillary tube is leaking, and we can also test to see if it's restricted by doing both of these jobs. So once he sets it up, we'll first show you if it's restricted, how we pass through nitrogen, and then we'll charge it up and then show you how we would determine if this capillary tube is leaking.
Okay. Hey guys, it's a little awkward for me because I typically do it at this angle, so I'm not trying to be rude, but it's part of my back.
Hold on, guys. We have to move the studio wherever we need to go.
When you put this down, always make sure you put it somewhere safe. We'll put it on this little wet rag I've got here.
Don't want to melt our floor.
No.
You can see some spots some of the students have done in the past.
Now, guys, I want you to pay attention in particular. Let me get my laser pointer.